Alright, so today we are in day 9. Way of the badge. Today we are going to get back to basics. I'm going to talk about tonight is just basic things you can do when you are going through PTSD. Not even to that point, just basics right after an incident. And it's sticking with stuff that we already know. Making sure you're drinking a lot of water, working out, keeping your routine regular. Don't try and switch everything up. Make sure you're getting off your ass, moving around, and that you're not just loafing around your house or going down to the local bar and having several beers, taking pain medication, whatever it might be. You want to keep your routine as normal as possible, as regular as it was. Even as you're getting further on, when you get to the point where it becomes PTSD, you're just struggling with depression, anxiety. You want to try and keep things as normal as possible. You want to be active. That for me was one of the best ways to get out of my head, was to get out and either go up to the mountains and go for a hike, go to the gym, run, lift, something to get my blood flowing, and getting me out of that funk that sitting around the house would do. That's the easiest way if you want to go back down the rabbit hole, is just sit around your house and not do much. So today is all about being active. And it all meshes together. Find the right people to surround yourself with. You're going to have people that are going to tell you, oh, come on down, have a beer, sit around. They're not going to try and push you to get out. You want to find the support people that are going to understand that you're struggling. They're going to listen, and they're going to help you get up and move. As you go through this stuff, you find ways to better know when your triggers are coming. Once you know they're coming on, that's when you got to get off your ass and move. It's real easy, even now for me, to just let myself, if I want to, if I'm just having a crappy day and I don't feel like being active, very easy to go down that rabbit hole and let the depression sink in, let all the negativity sink in. And you gotta fight that. Because once you get up and you start moving, it's very hard to stay in that mindset when you're being active. Go to the gym. Like I said before, find some videos. I always, when I was training before, instead of listening to music, I would find videos that would motivate me. And usually it was fight videos or some kind of motivational speeches. And I would mesh them all together so that it would get me fired up and would get my head out of my ass, to be blunt about it. You got to get back to those places where you know that your heart rate's going to get going, where you're going to start getting energized, where you're going to want to be motivated to do stuff. And you're not going to want to sit around and let that fog set in. Some people can get in to that mindset and they can't get out. Other people can get into that mindset and they don't mind being there. Problem is, when you get into that mindset, it becomes very easy to become darker and darker and darker. And you just let your life spiral out. So if you're the one struggling, start journaling every day. This is how I feel. This is what makes me feel bad. This is what makes me feel good. Start making playlists on your phone of music that you know pumps you up. And when you start going down that rabbit hole, pop that music on, pop those videos on. One of the simplest things that I was taught years ago was stand in the mirror and smile. It's very hard to stay depressed or upset when you're standing in the mirror smiling at yourself. If you haven't seen any of these videos yet, look up laughing therapy. You will see it and think it is the stupidest thing you've ever seen, but if you do it, you can't stay upset. You can't stay in a dark place while you're doing it. It's impossible. I'm battling my dog here. She's seeing the family of rabbits that like to torment her every night we go out. So when we go into tomorrow and the rest of the week, next weekend, I am going to be doing a presentation for one of the groups that I run. It's called The Garage. And it's about taking a few minutes to reflect. Yeah, this is, I don't know if I'm going to see her or not, but this is what I get to deal with. Every time she sees a rabbit, she decides that she wants to be human and walk on two feet and run down the sidewalk. And while she ain't big, she's got some power to her. So as I was saying, this weekend I'm going to be doing a presentation for a group that I run. It's called The Garage, and it is about taking time to reflect something that I learned in a group that I took part in for a month, called Wake Up Warrior. Just an amazing experience, and I'll talk more about that tomorrow. But this was the one element of it that really hit home for me and gave me the most benefit. So I took that little 5-minute experiment that they gave me to do, and I built off of that. I talked about my experiences, what I learned about it, from it, tools that I got out of it, and I'm doing a presentation on that for my group. So this coming week, it's going to be leading into that and talking about reflection, talking about goal setting, talking about getting yourself back in the game after you've been out of it because of PTSD, because of depression and that stuff. So we move into tomorrow night, we'll be talking about that, and building on that going into the next weekend, for Memorial Day, which we just finished up with National Police Week, and now we're going into another somber weekend. So for a lot of people, last week had a lot of triggers to it, and this coming week and is going to also have a lot of triggers for it's going to have a lot of triggers for the men and women, my brothers and sisters that are in the military, and thinking about their fallen brothers and sisters over the weekend. So that's what we're going to be talking about going into next week. We're going to start. I got to get caught up with Chris still with this weight. So we're going to be upping the weight so we can get caught up to him to the 61 pounds he's on by the end of next weekend. So we got some good stuff coming up. I've gotten a lot of messages from folks about things that they're getting out of this. These little few minutes where I babble about what I've been through, what I've learned from it, what I continue to kind of struggle with here and there. And hopefully the years that I went through, the worst years and struggles, hopefully folks are getting stuff out of that, because at the end of the day, if you're not going to share with people, what's the point of walking through hell if you're not going to share that journey to help other people avoid doing it? So we're going to call it a night here. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Again, if you're struggling, ask for help. It's okay to not be okay. Don't let anybody tell you differently. Find a support system. There's plenty of folks out there, especially men and women that are doing this honor walk for suicide awareness. You got people from one side of this country to the other that are willing to listen to you, that are willing to help you out. I know it's a scary thing if you have to ask for help. I struggled doing it, and I spent 2 years thinking I could take care of it myself, and I could not. And I don't want anybody to get to that point that I did, sitting on my couch with my gun in my hand, having my note written out, and sitting there getting ready to pull the trigger back. I don't want anybody in that position. I don't care who you are. Nobody deserves to be in that spot that I was in that darkness. So if you're listening to this, if you are not struggling, make sure that you're checking on the people you're working with, your friends, your family. If they're showing any of the signs and symptoms, whether it's withdrawal, depression, anxiety, you're starting to see changes in them. They're usually outgoing, and now they don't want anything to do with anybody. They're drinking more. Maybe they got injured in the line of duty and they were given medication and they're going through it. It's subtle little changes, but if you're paying attention to it, you'll notice it. And, be brave enough to reach out and ask them, are they doing okay? Don't be afraid of what the answer is going to be. We've all got it inside of us to answer, to hear that answer and to do the right thing when we get it. So don't be afraid of it. Be brave enough to ask people if they're doing all right. If you see somebody struggling, even if you don't know them, walk up to them and ask them if they're doing okay. And if nothing else, just be there, be present, and listen. This isn't rocket science, ladies and gentlemen. It's just courage. It's the courage to walk up and say, are you okay? And if they're really struggling, ask them, are you planning to hurt yourself? Don't be afraid to ask that question. Be afraid of what will happen if you don't ask that question. So my brother Chris on the West Coast, I hope you're doing well. Dude, you're killing it. You motivate me every day, and I greatly appreciate everything you do. Keep it up. Keep pounding out those miles. Hopefully we're not adding anything else more than that 61 pounds. That's one is way too many. 61, we shouldn't even be anywhere near that in this day and age. The agencies, each and every one of them, should be looking out for their men and women and giving them the help that they need. Each and every agency. So, support your brothers and sisters. Take care of one another. If you're running an agency, if you don't have a wellness plan, health and wellness plan, reach out and look for one. Safe Call Now, perfect option for you. Gives you a 24-hour line. Sean Riley, the guy that runs that, is amazing. There's no cost to you. safecallnow.org. Reach out. bluehelp.org. Reach out. Ask them to help you out, provide you with resources. Blue Help just they sent me posters to put up around my agency. No cost. Absolutely none. The men and women that are running these agencies, they want to help. They want to provide you with the resources and the tools to help. Operation Enduring Warrior, absolutely amazing group helping the men and women in the military and the first responders. And 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you would have never seen this. Well, it doesn't feel like we're making a dent when you look at the numbers at 61. When you look at the numbers from last year, 200 plus suicides completed. We're making a dent. We're not far from the day where we're going to see the honor given to these men and women that lost their battle because of the things that they saw on the job. They're going to get the same honors as someone that loses their life in the line of duty. It's like the statue says on our memorial. It's not how these officers died that made them heroes. It is how they lived. Don't judge them by how they died, because you sure as hell didn't judge them when they were wearing the badge and they were covering your ass when you're out on the street. You sure as hell didn't judge them then, so don't judge them now. Take care of one another. Be safe, both here and abroad. Thank you for what you do. The first responders, it's law enforcement, fire, EMS, communications, and don't forget about those angels. Folks that do communications work, they're like angels on our shoulders. Every call that we go on, everything that we do. And they're absolutely amazing men and women. Don't forget about them. When you're getting ready to go home tonight, make sure you stop in at some point during your shift and thank them for what they do. Thank them for covering your butt and watching you while you're out there. For giving you all the information you do and always answering that radio. They're struggling just as much as we are. Brothers and sisters in the military, be safe. Thank you for sacrifice that you're making right now. For your families, we thank them as well. And the families of the first responders for all the nights and days that you're home wondering if your officer is coming home at the end of that shift. All the holidays, birthday parties, all of that stuff. We can't thank you enough for showing us and allowing us to go out and do what we do. To be safe, take care of yourself. We'll see you tomorrow night.